Welcome to From Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. This is a space for honest conversation, for moments when something inside feels heavy or disconnected. Each episode features practitioners and wellness spaces sharing the intention behind their work so you can feel into what resonates and discover support you can experience directly. Wherever you're arriving from today, you are welcome here. Welcome to another episode From Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. Today I bring you a question. Why do we wish our negative parts away? Why do we judge ourselves continuously? And in that judgment, really discard a part of ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that these bad or negative parts of us should lead us. What I am saying and I am questioning is wishing them away the best way for us? What I have come to learn through my own journey is I can't wish my bad parts away. That's my journey. I'm curious to hear, have you ever wished your bad parts away? And if you have you succeeded in it? And if you even have succeeded in it, do you feel whole? You can put all your shares in the comments below because I'm very curious in understanding what your thoughts are. For me personally, the more that I've tried to push and suppress my own negativity, my own negative feelings, my own bad parts, the more it has persisted in my life, the more it has taken over my life. And in surrender, in understanding, in having literally a conversation with myself about whatever is present, I have been able to dismantle it, release it, and let that heaviness go into whatever it needs to go into, but not stay stuck in me. So every time I felt anger and I've reacted, not responded, but reacted in a specific way that I wasn't proud of, that I didn't want to continue, I was actually asked to sit down with myself and understand, why am I angry? Where is the anger in my body? How can I put compassion and love and care towards it so it actually receives the freedom to transmute, the freedom to transcend into peace, into love, into creativity and joy? And the more that I have sat with my feelings, journaled about them, given the space, apologized for them, a true authentic apology, not like, yeah, I'm sorry, but no, feeling like, yeah, I could have done that better. If I had understood that it's not the anger that's making me respond or the other person that's making me respond, it's that lack inside of myself that I am holding on to that is making me respond. And there's a very fine line in responding and in reacting. Reaction comes from impulse. Reaction comes from not understanding yourself. Reaction comes from being so disconnected with what is happening inside of you that everyone else in your surrounding actually gets the freedom to influence you in many different ways. And that influence can be negative. That influence can trigger a way of being. Yet we always, always, always have a choice. What is your choice today? How do you show up for you? How do you create from this beautiful light that is you? You cannot create from your own light if you haven't given yourself the permission to understand what is underneath the surface level emotion. I said it before, I truly believe we have 4 bodies. The physical body that everyone can see, the mental body, the way we think and the way that we are acting, our emotional body that subconsciously lead us to take action in a certain way, and then our spiritual body. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't have our energetics that are way, way, way more bigger than these 4 bodies, but it does mean that there's more than you can see. And only when you stop, reflect, and you understand your own negative parts. Now, what is happening in this world is we are identifying all of these negative parts and giving it reasons from an intellectual level, so the mental level. And as we are giving it reasons from our intellectual level, we are also missing out on the essence, the feeling, the emotion, the rage, the disconnection, as well as the connection to the things that are serving us and that are not serving. So in this moment, when I ask, when you wish your negative parts away, how successful have you been in that? That question truly comes from this understanding that I have, is that my negative parts were there to teach me something. Now, this teaching, this specific teaching can come through my parents, can come through my siblings, can come through my friends, my environments, my workplace. But when I see everyone fulfilling a specific role in my life, like an actor, I can then also find the freedom to choose which of these core players do I want to keep in my life and which ones do I not. I also get to choose what is the story, the dynamic that I am telling myself when it comes to my parents, when it comes to my siblings, when it comes to my family at large. And are those stories, those dynamics, the ones that serve me? See, every generation has a different journey. The journey of my parent was not to sit and reflect on their emotions. It was to go, it was to survive. And in their surviving, they wanted to build something so that their children could thrive. So is it fair to say that, oh, my parents were this way or that way, and they didn't give me the space and understanding, therefore I am this way? Well, great. Now you have a very basic storyline and a choice to choose if this storyline will serve you in your future, will continue to be what it needs to be for you right here, right now. It had many different stories that did not serve me. And it's so easy to blame a family member and get stuck in, I am this way because ... No, you're this way because you're stuck in that story. You have the freedom to choose differently now. You have the capacity to start journaling your thoughts and your emotions and your way of understanding yourself. Our parents did not live in a generation, they truly did not have the freedom to be in that dynamic. So it's unfair to say and expect that they would have every single thing right. You're not having every single thing right. I am not having every single thing right. So how can we expect from our parents to have every single thing right? It is not healthy to expect that. The chaos, the turmoil, the pain, the hurt, it all needed to be there to grow. Yes, there are some people, and even in every generation, there are some people who don't go through that pain journey, who have the capacity to grow themselves instantly. But that is because their journey is different. Majority of souls are not enlightened right away. Yes, there are those few beautiful souls that show us that this is possible for you. Because with that example, we can create a better life. My parents had an example for themselves that they wanted to do better, be better, and create better for their children. And I am forever indebted to them. I'm so grateful to them for having the capacity to want to do better and actually succeeding in that. I am so proud of my dad of holding us as girls equal in the sense that you deserve an education. You deserve to be independent. You deserve to think for yourself. Now, did I have the religious restrictions? Yes, I did. But my basic right was not taken away because I'm a girl. I was still working. I was still earning. I was still learning. And in the generation that he was born, that was not always the norm for girls. So for me to be this educated woman that I am is because he had the courage to think different. Now it's on me to decide where in my life can I think differently and provide better and different. Knowing that this world is going into a very fast-paced experience for all of us. AI is not going to help us slow down. It actually is going to speed things up. And an average focus point for us as humans is what, a few seconds? That's why we are in the scrolling mode so often. How do you bring yourself from a few seconds being able to concentrate on yourself into an hour, into a day, into more for yourself? So that you actually get to land in your body and understand the bad parts, the negative habits, the negative emotions are coming from a lack inside of you. And it's only your own responsibility to create from a better place, to be curious enough to want to change that. Guru says it so beautifully, like we are literally inner engineering. When you go inside of you, you have the freedom, the space, the creativity to look deep inside and choose, oh, this part fits better here. This part I'm going to really completely shift and change the perspective of because it's not serving me anymore. You get to do that. You get to create that. So instead of wishing your bad parts away, instead of judging yourself for all of those negative things, start understanding why they are there in the first place. I have done some generational healing. Not a lot of the emotions that I was present with were all mine. Yet I did get the freedom, and I chose to be the freedom of releasing those. So when I sat with myself and healed and understood this is not mine, this comes from generation of pain, of hurt, of suppression, I was able to feel into that hurt, and it was not comfortable. But it made me understand deeper as to why I'm fighting for something so much more than anyone else had in the generation that I grew up. The family that I grew up in, I could feel the pain of grandmothers, grandfathers, and hold space for it now. So it could be transmuted. Myself could be freed from believing and acting in a certain way. I was inner engineering myself with love, with compassion, with care. Not judgment, not hurt, not disgust, not pain focused. I'd rather sit in that emotion for a day than decades. You know what's funny? The other day I was reminding myself of how clueless I was living. There was a point of time where I felt so thirsty and I was so disconnected from my body that I didn't understand that my heart rate had gone up. And I actually went to the doctor's office that day. And it wasn't even for myself. It was not even for myself. And I was thirsty, but I was in this go, go, go. And I was there and I was talking to the doctor for a family member. And I must have looked weird. And the doctor's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm good, I'm good. Don't focus on me, focus on this person. They need help. They need service. They need medication. But she knew something was off. So she checked me out. My blood pressure was out the roof. It's like, you're not okay. This is not normal blood pressure for you, Matina. I'm like, why is that? I feel fine. I feel fine. There's nothing wrong with me. Don't focus on me. Focus on the other things around right now. And I realized later on that I had not drunk enough water and it was so hot and I was been on this go 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 train since early morning. But the fact that I was so disconnected from my body and I was so driven by my mind made me realize how we live in this world that we orchestrate where go, go, go is a norm. And if you're not going, then you're standing still. And you cannot stand still. You must be on the go. Let's stop. Let's slow down just a tad so you can feel into you. You can receive from your own heart and soul, your own body's wisdom. It wants to share with you what's actually going on in me. Thinking back at that time, and I actually was still married at that time, and I had a lot of pain. that I was pretending it wasn't there. And I was putting a big smile for everyone to see and everyone to believe that we have this perfect family. Yet inside, there was something broken. My body was screaming, but I was not listening. I was consumed with what was expected of me versus what I was feeling. So now helping others to slow down, to understand their own self, their own inner landscape is so important. But we cannot get there when we wish our bad and negative and all of these words that we use for ourselves that we diminish ourselves in. When you are so focused, if only I do that better will never stop. And you will never stop judging you. What you actually need is compassion, care, love, understanding of why it is there in the first place for you. And then decide, is this the story, the narrative that I want to continue all my life? Or am I ready to transmute it into something new? What does that new look like? What does that new feel like? And how can you give yourself that freedom, compassion, that care, that you actually get to heal from the inside out? And healing doesn't mean done that, I'm done. No, healing is really, truly about a layer after layer after layer of discovery of yourself. We just gave it this special name, healing, so that it becomes like, oh, if I do this, I am healed. No, you just discover. You just discover more of you. And when you choose to continue this path, you continue to discover more and more of you. All these scattered places that we have left ourselves in come back to you, to your truth, to your wholeness, to this unity of all your so-called darker parts and so-called light parts becoming in one union of peace, of the yin and yang that coexist. And it must coexist. It cannot be separate. It cannot be always light. I need to honor my darker sides and understand why they are there and bring them in unity. Because when they are in unity, we actually get to build from wholeness. Your wholeness will serve you 10 times more than you being lost in your dark side or in your light side. We need both to coexist in this world. Our natural brain needs to protect us. And therefore it creates stories. It really does. Don't become the story though. Ask yourself, where are you judging you? Where are you telling yourself, if only that could be better for me? And share it in the comments. Send me a DM. Because this conversation is very, very crucial for us to transcend into the next level, into our wholeness, into our beingness of peace, of care, of love. You are your own light, my dear. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl or a trans, it doesn't matter. However you identify as, I see a human being. And that human being deserves love, deserves care, deserves to show herself or himself or themselves or itself that it has the capacity to grow, to be loved. I really hope that this conversation has sparked something inside of you. And if you're listening so far, I know it has, because there's something calling you from the inside. So, what is your next step in recognizing that you are dark and light together? In recognizing that there's nothing wrong with that, yet we do get to choose and transcend and transmute the story that we tell it. Let's choose wisely. I believe in you. I truly hope you do too. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time. Thank you for spending your time here. Sharing your reflections in the comments or passing this conversation along helps this space reach people who are looking for support and don't always know where to turn. Take a breath as you transition back into your day and notice what's present now. I'll meet you again next week.